absolutely dread the question, what's your favorite movie of all time? Because it's so commonly asked, and I honestly don't ever have an answer. So today, we're trying to tackle the impossible and not share my only favorite movie, but my top 25 favorite movies of all time. What is up, film geeks? My name is Trevor and welcome to my channel. Sharing with you my top 25 movies of all time. It's going to be fun, maybe a little bit controversial, but if I could only watch 25 movies for the rest of my life, these are the 25 movies that I would pick. I'm stranded on an island. These are the ones I'm bringing with me. Let me know your favorite movies, top 25, top 5, top 1. All that down below in the comment section. And while you're at it, hit that thumbs up button for me and that subscribe button for me for more rankings, reviews, and reactions. So much more coming this week. But right now, I'm sharing with you my top 25 favorite movies of all time. With that said, let's hop right into this list. Right at number 25, my second favorite animated movie of all time and my second favorite Spider-Man movie of all time. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. This movie is unique, it's distinct, it has its own style, and the soundtrack and the animation style really absorb into how unique this movie is. Everything is just fitting with it, with the Post Malone, Sway Lee, Sunflower Song being the theme song of this movie and seemingly now the Spider-Verse franchise, to also Miles Morales being one of the most relatable and awesome Spider-Mans we ever got, and finally to be one of the most uniquely crafted animated movies that I've ever seen. Such a distinct animation style that takes some people out of it, but for me, it sucked me in and it keeps me invested the entire time, every time I watch it. Number 25, Spider-Verse, a very good way to start this list. At number 24, my favorite mystery of all time. It's a little bit recency bias here, but it's Knives Out. Benoit Blanc is the absolute man. I can't wait for the sequels of Knives Out to come. This is a comfort movie for me. It's around November, December time. This is a movie that I think of whenever it's coming around the holidays. I don't know why, but I think of Knives Out, and it's a movie I always like to toss on around the holiday time. I was fortunate enough to see this one 3 times in the theaters, and it really hit home each time I saw it. Always trying to point out different things, but I just like the character of Benoit Blanc and talking about donut holes inside another donut's hole, and our donut isn't a donut at all. Daniel Craig does such a fantastic job as his character, and Rian Johnson crafts the perfect mystery. I just like going on this adventure, unsolving a mystery each time. I know how it's going to play out, but something about that just makes me feel at ease, and it makes me go to bed easy at night. Number 23, my favorite horror movie of all time, Scream. Wes Craven just mastered something so unique and distinct with this slasher horror movie. It really makes fun of old slasher movies while all the while it is falling into one of those cliche slash movies in itself with a very good plot twist. I absolutely love the plot twist in this movie, and the Scream franchise in general is one of my favorite franchises of all time. This movie solidifies itself as the best horror movie of all time, the best slasher movie of all time, and it solidifies Wes Craven as the best horror director of all time. Speaking of all-time greats, number 22 is my favorite Christmas movie of all time, Elf. I watch this movie 3 times every year, and it's a movie that I can quote more often than not, and I never thought I could quote this movie as much as I do or as much as I have, and every time I watch this movie, it's probably annoying to watch it with me because I can basically recite the whole thing. Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color? At number 21, The Blind Side, one of my favorite sport movies ever, and I rewatched this one at the end of last year, and it made me realize how much I truly love this movie. I saw this on opening night instead of Avatar back in the day. That's how much I was excited for this movie and how much it really sticks with me. And this is a movie I watch all the time with my family. Sandra Bullock's absolutely flawless in this movie. It makes you feel good. It really just gets you inspired. And Tim McGraw is showing that he's one of the best musicians turned actor working today. I absolutely love The Blind Side. 1 Mississippi. Number 20, That Awkward Moment. This is a romantic comedy, but I more call it a bromantic comedy. If you don't know what this is, starring Michael B. Jordan, Zac Efron, and Miles Teller, and a very awesome, talented cast. One of their best friends gets a divorce. He's very sad, and his other 2 buddies are trying to get him off his feet. They're going out to clubs and not getting in relationships, just trying to go out and have a good time and be friends. All the while, they all fall into relationships and into that trap that they are trying to avoid. It hits hard. It has emotion. It is very, very funny. And these 3 I want to see in an MCU movie or some kind of movie like that together. Zac Efron, Miles Teller, and Michael B. Jordan have great chemistry. They're bouncing off each other very quick. And it seems like you're just on this adventure and on this ride with 3 friends who kind of go through their trials and tribulations through relationships, through our relationships, through their romantic relationships. I've loved it since I was a freshman in high school. And when making this list, I had to include it. At number 19, arguably my favorite director of all time, Christopher Nolan's Inception. Talk about a mind-bending, absolutely crazy movie. That is Inception. I've watched this movie probably 4 times now, and I still don't fully understand what's going on. I have theories coming out left and right, but it's one movie that every time I show someone, everyone agrees, that's a great damn movie. At number 18, I always forget about this one, but it's my favorite romantic comedy of all time, Along Came Polly, starring Ben Stiller, Jennifer Aniston, and Philip Seymour Hoffman. This movie is so quotable to me, but this is another one I watched anytime my family came in town from out of town. We would all sit down, watch this movie, and just laugh and have a good time. When I think of this movie, I think of my happy childhood memories, watching this with my parents, watching this with my aunts, uncles, and my cousins, and just all laughing, being there together, watching Sandy Lyle, Philip Seymour Hoffman be one of the best supporting characters ever. This is a cliche romantic comedy. By the end of the movie, you're smiling, you're having a great time. Number 17, recency bias, okay? That's fine. You can hate on me all you want, but Spider-Man No Way Home did something for me I never thought they could. Spoilers for No Way Home coming up here ahead. My entire life, my entire childhood is brought out into this movie, and it's one of those movies that makes you come out of the movie saying, I love movies. I just can't get over how much I love movies. Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, and Tobey Maguire being on screen together made me feel like a kid all over again. Seeing Tobey Maguire on the screen for the first time, seeing Andrew Garfield in my high school years, and seeing Tom Holland and in my high school years to my early adult years, seeing the culmination of Spider-Man, my personal favorite superhero, all together. It was the best theater reaction I ever was a part of. I never screamed and almost cried so many times. It hits hard on so many levels. This movie is one of the best MC movies of all time. It's one of the best superhero movies of all time. It's in my top 20. I absolutely love it. Number 16, The Social Network. This is a movie that I rewatch at least once a year, and every time I do, I just like it a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. Aaron Sorkin's writing it, David Fincher's directing it, Jesse Eisenberg, Andrew Garfield, Justin Timberlake. Do we need to go on with this? It is crafted and told so well. I like a story that can kind of bounce back and forth with what's currently going on today and go and tell a story like that. I like when it has like almost a narrator doing that. And this movie has some of the best acting of all time and has the biggest Oscar snub for Andrew Garfield. That scene, you know what I'm talking about. Is still wired in? Come on. Come on. Number 15, Quentin Tarantino's Inglourious Basterds Gorlami. This one is so different and unique, and only Quentin Tarantino can change history the way he does. And every time he does, you just get invested, you get sucked in. Brad Pitt is arguably my favorite actor. He has quite a bit more movies on this list. And Quentin Tarantino is arguably one of my favorite directors because he has a couple more movies on this list. But Inglourious Basterds is a war movie that isn't really focused on the war. It's focused on the things going around it. Hans Landa is one of the best villains of all time, who's not out there snapping necks and cashing checks. He's out there just pulling the strings, and he's playing the orchestra. That's exactly what he does. It has a great villain, a great story, and a crazy ending. All makes for a fantastic movie. Inglourious Basterds, Gorlami. Gorlami. At number 14, Crazy Stupid Love. Steve Carell, Emma Stone, Ryan Gosling. There's not really much else you need to say. This is a romantic comedy again between Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone, and Ryan Gosling and Steve Carell. Ryan Gosling's trying to get Steve Carell off his ass. He got divorced, he got down, he has no idea, no direction. He basically gets this guy off his ass who's so sad and depressed. He's only been in love with his wife, to go out there and find out that there is more fish in the sea, or at least find out what he is missing in his life. It hits hard emotionally, has one of the best plot twists I've ever seen in a movie. I promise you, you will not see it coming, and it will make you laugh your ass off the entire time. Doesn't have that real slow beat moment, has so many relatable little charms and wits about them. I love this movie, I love this cast, and Crazy Stupid Love. What's not to love? At number 13, The Internship. I love Owen Wilson, I love Vince Vaughn, and this is the best feel-good movie I could ever think of. Every time I watch this movie, when I get to the end, I have a huge smile on my face. I actually can't stop smiling. Whenever I think of this movie, it just makes me feel happy and warm and fuzzy. This is a movie I used to watch with my brother and one of our best friends. We used to watch this every summer, multiple times, kind of have a movie on loop. Like, what do you want to watch? Toss on The Internship. When I think of this movie, that's what I think of. Number 12, did I mention I love Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone? Because we have La La Land. Damien Chazelle is a master behind the camera, but this movie just crafts a love story like something we haven't seen before, and it's one of the most realistic movies that I have ever seen. About two people out there chasing their dreams. One wants to be a musician, one wants to be an actress, and it's just showing how hard that truly is. But if you stick with it long enough, you keep digging, you never know how close you are to diamonds. This might be one of the romantic movies where there isn't necessarily a happy ending. There is one of sorts in a certain way you look at it, but it doesn't end the way you think it's going to end. I didn't cry in this movie. I was angry. When I saw this in theaters, I was like, how is it going to end like this? And I walked out and said, wow, that was one of the best movies I have ever seen in my entire life. Number 11, you gotta include Star Wars on here. And this is a hot take, but Star Wars Revenge of the Sith is my favorite Star Wars movie. And there it is. Revenge of the Sith hits hard because I quote this movie quite often. You underestimate my power. And I think about this movie quite often. When I think of Star Wars, I think of Anakin and Obi-Wan duking it out. And I can't wait for the Obi-Wan series because I love this movie so much. I'm so passionate about it. And every time anyone hates on this movie, just know you're wrong. When Anakin is called Darth Vader for the first time, don't act like you're like, damn, that was sick. Breaking us into the top 10, my personal favorite comedy ever, Step Brothers. Hey, did you touch my drum set? How do you not love this movie? I quote this movie with my brother day in and day out. I can actually pretty much recite this entire movie. I can recite every duo scene. It's one of the genuinely funniest movies ever. I've showed this movie to pretty much everyone I know, and everyone laughs their ass off throughout. It's the fucking Catalina wine mixer. Number 9, my favorite Pixar movie, my favorite animated movie, Toy Story 3. This is the culmination of my life as well. This actually goes past my life, but I watched this movie when I was about 11 years old, and I cried. Eating pizza, watching this on a Friday night by myself, and I got emotional. And every time I watch this movie, I get emotional. And that's exactly what Toy Story 3 does. It brings out all the emotions from the first 3 films, and they're gonna go down like the garbage thing together. They get saved by the claw. So long, partner. A proper send-off to this. It's one of my favorite trilogies ever. I like Toy Story 4. I felt it was definitely unnecessary. It made $1 billion, so it's not that unnecessary. But I really wish they left it as a trilogy because it is still one of my favorite trilogies of all time. In Lightyear later this year is going to be awesome. My personal favorite genre is coming of age, and at number 8 is Perks of Being a Wallflower, one of my personal favorite coming of age movies of all time. And this used to be my top 3, so it has gone down a little bit, but every time I watch this movie, it brings out the emotions in me. It makes me laugh, it'll make me cry, and just really hits deep with certain things that get revealed out in this movie. The movie's filled with heart, it's filled with passion, it's filled with emotion, and by the end of the movie, when he says, "We are infinite," I promise you, you will feel infinite as well. It hits hard on all those levels. High school is hard. High school is a scary, difficult time in your life that everyone struggles to get through, and this movie really just nails that on the head. Shows how hard and dark times can get, but you got to see it through. You come out in the end. I got a little deep, but Perks of Being a Wallflower hits on those notes for me. Here's a little curveball out of left field. Number 7, We Are Your Friends. Zac Efron, I'm guessing, is my favorite actor because he has a couple movies on his list. We Are Your Friends is a coming-of-age movie about guys who aren't in high school, aren't in college. They're in their almost mid-20s, or about 23 years old, and they just have no direction in their life as to what they want to do. One wants to be an actor, one wants to run the club they go to every week, one just wants to be with his friends, and one wants to be a DJ. They're all just trying to find their way. They all seem lost, and it's something I can relate to in my day-to-day now and how I was in high school. I didn't have direction. I didn't know where I wanted to go. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And this is the movie that I could rewatch every single day. And it's a comfort movie for me. I watch it all the time at home, just kind of toss it on. It's one of those movies you kind of play around your house. You're not necessarily watching it, but you're listening to it. You tune in every now and then. You're cleaning your house. And that's exactly what this movie is for me. Number 6, I've loved this movie for as long as I can remember, but Warrior. Joel Edgerton, Tom Hardy, and Frank Grillo. Everyone just forgets about Frank Grillo. They go Nick Nolte and his performance, but Frank Grillo is the first thing I saw him in. And he has a certain line in this movie that just hits hard in how he delivers it. It's inspiring. It's like one of my favorite sport movies of all time, if not my favorite sport movie. But Gavin O'Connor is arguably my favorite director ever. And seeing how he just crafts these sport movies from him. He did Miracle recently in the way back. But a martial arts movie, you don't see someone filming this the way they do. It looks so real. It looks like you're really there. And it's a brutal movie about 2 brothers. And that's where it hits hard for me. Breaking is in the top 5. Honestly, this is a hangout movie. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I absolutely love it. It's my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. Cliff Booth and Rick Dalton are 2 of the coolest characters ever. And again, Quentin Tarantino changing history. And it's about these 2 guys. One's an actor, one's a stunt double, kind of just hanging out through Hollywood. All the while, the Manson family is growing and really forming. And it has one of the creativest, most brutal Quentin Tarantino endings of all time. But just that journey you go on. It feels like you're just hanging out in Hollywood. You want to wear a tank top, go outside in the hot sun, and just hang out with your buds. Maybe drink a brewski, maybe drink 2 brewskis. But it's a hangout movie. You toss it on, and you want to watch FBI together. You want to commentate on together. It's a relatable movie. It's an awesome movie with awesome characters, awesome script, and a freaking wild ending. Did I mention Brad Pitt? Because at number 4 is Moneyball. This right here is my favorite sport movie of all time. Written by Aaron Sorkin, and I actually watched this movie twice already this year. And it's just about to be March. So Moneyball hits hard for me for certain levels because I love a sport movie, but I love a sport movie where the sport is in the forefront. That's where sport movies really hit hard for me. It's about pulling the strings, the office side, the business side, what's going on here, who cares what's going on the field. This is the stuff that's more interesting to me. Brad Pitt is believed in a vision when no one else did, and that's what this movie hits home for me on. Is not everyone has to see it, but as long as you see where you're going towards, you can lead them to the light. Eventually, everyone else will come around. Not everyone has to believe it, but only you have to believe it. It's inspiring. But at the end of the day, you get chills, a great score, a great screenplay by Aaron Sorkin, and honestly, one of Brad Pitt's best performances. At number 3, Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman. I love Guy Ritchie, arguably my favorite director. But The Gentleman is a gangster movie that is like a whodunit and has a lot of comedy in there as well. And that's what Guy Ritchie does so well. He writes movies with crazy different genres and jumbles them all together. It makes a fantastic movie. Matthew McConaughey, Colin Farrell, Charlie Hunnam, and a fantastic supporting cast as well. The Gentleman is one of those movies, again, that I can watch all the time. I love showing my friends, my family, because it's honestly, to me, it's kind of a comedy. I'm laughing my ass off throughout. It has lots of great twists and turns, and there's a narrator in there that I love. It's like you have 3 different directors all in this movie together, and that's exactly what it feels like. Guy Ritchie crafted one of my favorite movies of all time in The Gentleman. I absolutely love it. I love the twist, I love the turns, I love the story, and I love these characters. I wish there was a trilogy, or at least we got a sequel, because man, I want it. This one is a little bit different because if you know anything about me, you know I'm a diehard Lord of the Rings fan, and this isn't just one movie, it's the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy because I count them all as one kind of big movie, and it's at number 2. Lord of the Rings has meant something to me for my entire life. I remember playing with the action figures as a kid, getting the sword sting, running around my backyard, killing imaginary orcs and trolls and goblins, and I love these movies for so many reasons because it's my childhood. This is the movie that was my childhood. It brought out everything about me today that is still that nerd, still that little kid who loves movies. This is an adventure from start to finish that never lets up on the action, the heart, and the emotion. It's exactly what Peter Jackson really wanted with these movies. From the first movie, just kind of having an exposition and then really diving deep into this adventure, to the second movie, really trying to find themselves in this adventure where everyone branches out to their own thing, to the third movie, everyone coming home together in Return of the King. If I had to go from order of these movies, I would go Return of the King, Fellowship, and Two Towers. I didn't want to take 3 spots on this list. I wanted to include them all together because you can't watch one without watching the other, But at number 1, the MCU, Avengers Infinity War. I've actually seen this movie 52 times, so I'm not even joking. There was one weekend when I was sick. I watched this movie 4 times on Saturday and 4 times on Sunday, so it kind of just kept going on from there. But this movie is one of the first where the villain wins, and that's what's crazy about it, because Thanos is someone who they almost made relatable. He's trying to do the greater good that no one else can see, and he's trying to convince you that his way is right, and he believes it so much that you kind of start believing him too. And it's the first time your hero's lost. If they left this movie out without Endgame, I don't know exactly how I would feel, but just watch this movie as a solo movie by itself. It's one I could watch anytime. It's one I could quote anytime. Has the best action in the MCU, the best ending in the MCU, and it's the culmination of all the MCU movies before it piled together. One of the best theater reactions and theater experiences I've ever had. One of the movies I wish I can go back and rewatch for the first time. And Thor's entrance on Wakanda, while it doesn't make sense, he should be going to Titan, not Wakanda, it still hits hard, gets you to scream and cheer. And the scene between Wanda and Vision, when Wanda has to take Vision and she has to kind of take him out. I Only Feel You. It is my favorite movie of all time. And there you have it. A very, very long, hard video to do. My top 25 favorite movies of all time. If you made it to the video, comment down below, hashtag favorite movies of all time. And let me know your top 1, 5, 3, 10, 25 favorite movies ever. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up button for me. Hit the subscribe button for me. So many more videos coming this week. I'm excited for all of it. I'll see you guys in the next one.